introduce yourself to start with, your name and what you are now?
Certainly. Peter Wheeler. I'm retired now. I was here as a member of staff in the Wilson unit from the middle 70s to the middle 80s.
What do you remember from those days?
A lot of fun, actually. I had a very good time. It was a magic time for the Institute in the early days. Anyway, it's the best place to be in the world for its subject, and still is, I think, to a large extent.
What was your research?
I was working in the part of the Institute that developed products for industry. And one of the things we did was to develop two areas, really. One of the developments I led on was a noise cancelling headset. They're now quite widely available from companies like those, but ours was the first one. And we developed it for the RAF so that they could cancel out the noise of their aircraft engines in flight. And I remember flying around the skies in helicopters trialling it, in tanks on the German plane, trying out as well. And Tomorrow's World got interested in it. And the young woman presenter from Tomorrow's World came down, and we went off to Boscombe Down. And I've been trying to get either myself or one of my engineering colleagues in the back of a fighter aircraft to test this in practice for about 3 years. And they kept on saying, no, you're not trained. Along comes this young woman presenter from Tomorrow's World, and 2 minutes later she's in the back of the cockpit. But it worked well, and that was broadcast on Tomorrow's World, 80-something or the other. Then went on to develop some high-power loudspeakers so that the security forces in Northern Ireland could fly over rioting crowds in the days of the Troubles, and the original tannoy loudspeakers were never even heard on them, so they had very limited power control. So what we did was to design a very high-power directional loudspeaker using a thing called an acoustic lens, and that they were able to fly at a height where they wouldn't get shot at, but the crowd could still hear them. And we had a lot of fun working on projects like that. The national newspapers, did some work for the national newspapers as well. Went up to see the Daily Telegraph, and at that point, and this is all mid-80s, the Daily Telegraph was being printed on presses that were new in 1905, I think. So I went into the press room of the Telegraph in Fleet Street, as it was then, deep down in the dungeons, and there was not a soul in sight anywhere in the press room. Nothing was happening, it seemed. And we decided, I said that the first thing we need to do in this is to find out how reverberant this space is, because if it's highly reverberant, it will push the sound around and everybody will suffer from it, irrespective of whether they're near a noise source or not. So I fired our starting pistol in this empty building, and when I fired it again, everybody appeared out of the woodworks. They'd all been having tea breaks. Then they moved everything to Wapping, and of course things changed and it became quieter again. So we did that sort of work as well. A very wide range of stuff.
Why did you want to come back to Southampton for this celebration this week?
Well, I couldn't miss it really. Having been here 13 years, a lot of my colleagues, some of my colleagues are still here. Some others have moved out, and some of the ones I've taught as well. As I taught on the MSc course, I just bumped into someone fairly senior in consulting now, who was one of my students. It was lovely to see everybody. Great fun. It's a great day.